it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. It's a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
Mercy, mercy on you, mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Israel, cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we back by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething and wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just proceed to listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise, yeah. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See, this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. It's a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
Mercy, mercy on you, mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the praise to the God of Yisrael. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing steal out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we backed by the most high, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above.
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube, welcome to our prophecy class. Today we're in the book of Isaiah chapter 9, but before we get started, does anyone have any questions? No?
Yeah. It tells, it speaks to you about when Yahweh gave us the statutes, the commandments, so. When he gave us the commandments and everything, and it says when he gives us that land, we're supposed to follow this here with all our hearts and minds. But what about in captivity? I mean, we can follow it, but only so much, right? Because of the captivity we under.
No, we were under many captivities. When our fathers first came into the land, they started breaking Yahweh's law. So when you go in the book of Judges, you see that when they broke Yahweh's law, worshiping other gods, Yahweh put them in captivity of people that worship those gods. So over and over, he had to raise up judges to get them out of their captivity. So while in captivity, they probably could not practice keeping Yahweh's law. Well, they weren't keeping it anyway for them to go into captivity.
Right. That's what
So
I'm saying,
yeah, they weren't keeping it anyway. So finally, after some civil war, the tribe of Benjamin almost got wiped out. They decided they wanted a king to unify the nation, to go out and fight their battle. So they came up with Saul first, then David, then Shalom, and then the rest of the kings. So all during that time, you hear about people saying evil things about King David, even though David was Yahweh's a man after Yahweh's own heart, right? But we have always been a rebellious people. And the prophets testify to that. The rebellious and gainsaying people. And so whenever we were rebellious, life was always hard for our people. Until finally they went into the Babylonian captivity. And they weren't treated well during the Babylonian captivity. Initially, the Medo-Persian Empire allowed them to worship Yahweh, but it was still in captivity. And they had to pay for that captivity. And it's not in tithes, but in tribute. All through the Medo-Persian Empire and then the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire, there was always in captivity, except in the Roman Empire, as we can see in the Gospels, they were allowed to keep Yahweh's law. The only thing is, by the time they came out of the Greek captivity, they had learned Hellenism. And so they combined what they learned from the Greeks to the law and made a religion called Judaism. Okay? So they practiced that Judaism when the Mashiach showed up, and he was trying to break them out of that and bring them back to Yahweh. But they had to come through him. That's what they didn't like. Right. So they were keeping the law during the Roman Empire, but they made the law a burden. With the scribes and Pharisees, all these people are different sects of Jews that interpreted the law the way they saw the law. Right. And you still had the priests that was supposed to teach the people the law too. So during that time, they basically kept the law, but at the behest of the Roman Empire. They was in league, it's political. They was in league with the Roman Empire. That's why they was afraid of the Mashiach, because they thought that the Romans would replace them, because they set them up for that anyway. They set up the priesthood, and they set up the rulers over the Jews. That came from the Roman Empire. So now we're here, right? And all memory of who we are is gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, so we don't even know we're supposed to keep these commandments.
That's right.
So now in these latter days, Yahweh's opened up the eyes of our people. Say, yeah, you got to get back to my law.
That's true.
So so we can do that here in America, because that's not breaking the law. So it's easy for us to transition from not keeping the law to keeping the law here in America. White folks ain't saying we can't keep Yahweh's law.
That's true.
The only people that you know who object to us keeping Yahweh's law?
Who?
Black people.
That's our own people.
Yeah.
True. So when we were in captivity, was it almost like they were rebelling against Yah because we were in captivity?
Their captivity was foretold or prophesied by Daniel.
Right.
Right. So he prophesied by the Babylonian, the Medo-Persian, and the Greek, and the Roman Empire.
Right.
So they couldn't stop that. Yahweh had they broke the straw on the camel's back. So they finally said, I'm putting y'all in captivity. You're going to stay in captivity. All right, so here we are. We're still in captivity.
Right.
Right.
All right. Because I keep seeing where it's saying when he puts us in our land, all right, when he puts us in our land, I guess you don't have anything bucking against us. And that's where that freedom as far as worshiping comes in. The clarity of that comes in even more.
Yeah. You got to remember when they signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the slaves, that was in 1863. You're looking at by the 1890s that black people started keeping the Sabbath day holy, starting their own congregations. But it was in the image of Esau. Right, so it was more of a religious activity they were doing, but at least they knew who they were.
Right.
Right. So that stayed that way. You got the Moorish temple up in New York, and they were pretty powerful. We never heard about them. And so you come down to now. Now Yahweh got us in this book and reading and understand what the book said. So this is not a religion that he's teaching us.
Right.
He's teaching us what is actually written.
Right.
Right. So we're a lot different from those people up in New York. And they've been around a long time. And we'll just be the new kids on the block, even though this thing started 50 years ago. That's an accomplishment in and of itself.
And it seems like it's been longer than any 50 years.
Yeah, well, you got Bowie, right, and the Israel of God. They've been around for a minute. I think they've been around longer than us, haven't they, Steve? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been around long, and they're international, right? But you know why they're international?
You know why?
Because they call on Jesus.
Okay.
Hey, that's a money maker, bro.
Yeah, it is.
You can't deny it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that's the hypnotic spell that he has on black people. That anybody calling on that name, they're gonna join that church.
Right.
And that, is disingenuous for them, the people to call themselves Israelites, and they all got Israelite names, except their God, except Jesus. Right.
And they don't even understand that.
Well, there are different sects, just like it was the Pharisees, the scribes, and the Sadducees. The same thing now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to really check that out. But you gave me a nice little piece of information to go along with. I'm over here in Deuteronomy, 6, 7, and 8, and that's where I'm getting all that from right now.
But what does Deuteronomy 30 comes from? What does it say in Deuteronomy 30?
What?
It says, if all these blessings and curses come to your mind, you return to me and start keeping my commandments, then I'll bring you out of the land that he scattered you to and bring you back into the land and do us better than you did our fathers. Yeah. So now he's bringing that to our remembrance. And we look at Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
And say, hey, that's us. So now we know he put in our hearts to start keeping these commandments. And they're not grievous, are they?
No, they're not. And
so now we have a better hope than we ever had since our captivity began.
Right.
That since we see that it pertains to us, and he's causing us to keep these commandments again, and it's not against the law to keep Yahweh's commandments in America. So by doing that, he's preparing us to take us back home.
And
So we
that's-
can't keep these commandments without fear.
That's a serious protection on us right now by keeping the law, by just staying with it, because he said he would protect us regardless.
You know what? That spirit of protection was on you when you were born.
I know that already. I really do.
Right. So yeah, it was on all of us,
Yeah.
right? Just so we can get to this point to realize who we are and what we're supposed to be doing, what our duty is.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
That is?
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's
Boy,
it.
it's a lot to take in.
That's it.
Well, they say all this evil, I'm paraphrasing, all this evil I've done against these people, and I would, what is it? I've done all this evil against these people, but I would do all this good. I'm trying to
Yeah, you won't
But-
remember the evil.
You look at that, like, people look at the present condition or the conditions of black people that they're going to stay like that. Nah, it's going to come a time where all that is going to be gone, and now they're going to go to the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to keep up with white people.
Oh, I was gonna say with Israel God, I remember the school I was teaching, that a parent of mine, he goes there, and he told me that he watches y'all. He was watching you all the time.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, and then I asked him, I said, well, what's the justification for JC? And he said that the justification for JC that they use at Israel God basically is the stuttering
lips in another tongue.
The tongue that the JC would be more identifiable
Okay.
because people recognize that name.
Mm-hmm.
So you say Yahshua, even though he acknowledged.
He knows it's Yahshua.
Yeah, he knows Yahshua.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, why? He said, how come y'all use JC then? And that's when he gave that he said, well, it will bring more people in. We still teaching them the law and dietary law and the commandments and things of that nature, but we can use JC because JC is more well recognized.
Identifiable.
Even though we know Yahshua.
Yeah, you're going to make more money with JC. That's what it really saying. Bring more people, bring more money.
Yeah.
That's all that's saying, man.
So that's what he told me, and I was then.
And
So,
they international.
yeah.
Israel of God.
I didn't know about him until I got here.
Yeah. Israel of God, they're international. So yeah, that JC,
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's a money maker, bro.
Most powerful name in the world.
Yeah.
No name
Mhm.
surpassed Jesus.
Black and white.
Yeah.
All nationalities know Jesus' name.
Yeah.
I was surprised though over in that Middle East. Yasser Arafat, before he died, he said Muhammad, Jesus was a prophet, but Muhammad was the last prophet. I say they got them saying Jesus, got them Arabs saying Jesus.
They claim they respect Jesus,
Yeah.
but they don't believe he's the son of God.
No.
No. Only a prophet.
It just
Elder, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, so basically, the word Jesus, right? Now, knowingly that we know in the research that we do and we have done, we know that this is a man that was, a picture that was drawn of this man, right?
The what now?
The picture of Jesus
Uh-huh.
is Caesar Borgia.
Right.
But my point is, they know this. I'm sure they know this. So what's the problem? Besides just being ignorant.
Well, it's something we have never considered, though. That Jesus is a made-up name.
Mm-hmm.
It's a name they put together themselves. So they're worshiping a made-up God with a made-up name, and put that name in our book. Yeah.
One more. So last week about around Wednesday, give or take, I was at the Martin station and I was getting ready to cross the street. I see the two Gentiles coming up to me, young boys. But I can tell their attire what they were about, right? So he's like in the middle of the crosswalk, he said, hey my brother. I'm like, I know it's only me standing on the curb. I'm like, hey, yes. He said, hey my brother, what are your plans for Sunday? Well, Sunday, the first day, I think I'm going to grass and wash the car, but on Sabbath day now, Sabbath? That's why. Oh, by the way, I'm Hebrew. Thank you. You know what we're getting ready to go with, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what's out there.
Yeah, and that's how they catch a lot of us.
Yeah. And they think they're right, but and I didn't get upset with them.
No, I didn't. But just to
Right.
let them know.
Yeah, they assume a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're black, you must be a Christian.
Well,
Yeah.
Like when I went to that funeral, my cousin's funeral, my sister was there, and she a Jesus freak, and that preacher stood up and said, "Yeah, Jesus. By the way, his Hebrew name was Yahshua."
Whoa.
Through that right, they know.
So how they react to that?
Well, the people in church, at the funeral, they didn't even care. But I looked at my sister, I said, "See what that slick just said? Now, if he know his name is Yahshua, what else is he not telling? He's not going to tell you. He don't know anything. I know that. He doesn't know jack." But I said, look what he said. He says his real name is Yahshua. It didn't phase us.
Well, he ain't gonna teach them that.
Yeah, I know.
So they know. You're right. They know.
Yeah, it's a trickery.
But that'll be messing up their money. They change the name like that, right?
That's right.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't, just like even Martin Luther King, when he said that I have a speech thing, he couldn't very well tell them people he lied. He found out who we were. We were chosen people, but he just stooped, bitch. Going to the promised land, he just kind of rattled around with that thing. He couldn't say, you know what, I let y'all down Primrose Path.
They can't. You couldn't go there.
No, he couldn't do that.
Y'all really regret that I have a dream speech because he said, "I believe I've taken my people, put them in a burning house."
That's what he said.
He knew he was wrong then.
Yeah.
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 Are there any more questions?
You know, Elder, but I think that just like what you were saying, 'cause I've been talking to a family member talking about Yahweh, talking about the name, and her mother died. We went to the funeral. Dude in there calling on Yahweh, he calling on, and then so after the funeral, she said, "See, we know about Yahweh." I'm like, "Baby, that's Jamaliah. That ain't got nothing to do with Yahweh." What he talking about? I said, he know, but he ain't gonna tell y'all the truth about it. I said, he can't tell you the truth because he just confused. He just calling all kind of names up in there. But it's just a lot of confusion because, like I said, if he said you should know me by my name, not names, and and that's a battle with a lot of them. It's just that change of leaving something they think is salvation in, and just like, man, bring no salvation to that. So
Well, why was it so easy for us to change?
I guess we were looking. I guess we just knew something was wrong. Something ain't right with this.
Yeah, well, Yahweh showed us something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right, and it makes sense to us.
Yeah.
That what he's showing us is that we're not being shown these things in them Christian churches. So if he's showing us these things, then he's also showing him his name, showing us his name and his son's name. So we'll take all that too. Then come to find out, white folks knew it all along.
They've been knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we look at that and they said they hid that from us. So it must be true. They don't want us to know. Because they're making too much money using Jesus. Yeah. All right, are there any more? Yes.
Now, I was let me back off of Elder D.
Zach.
Zach. My wife, when she passed, I went to the funeral, and just a few people in there knew me as what and who I am. And as they're speaking, and they're saying like anybody can say anything, so what I did, I just
Thank you.
basically spoke a little bit. They're like, he didn't say too much. Then the guy told his wife, said, "Look, listen, he can't say nothing up in here because what he gonna tell y'all gonna get mad with him because he gonna talk about the real thing and who we are." And being that her nephew was a preacher, he was the one in charge of doing the things. So I tried my best not to even, say anything much because how can you go into another man's house and disrupt his operation? So
Buying a strong man.
yeah, so I just kind of left it alone. But he was telling his wife, "No, he know too much, and if he says something, y'all ain't gonna like it."
You couldn't have said something unless the Spirit made you say something.
Exactly.
So the Spirit said, don't say nothing.
No, I couldn't.
It's a time to talk and a time not to talk.
That's right. Exactly.
Right? So that's how that thing works. So you already know that you weren't supposed to respond to that. All right? Just be quiet, lay back. Yahweh want them to know, he'll let them know.
And everybody was looking at me. The eyes were all on me because I'm not dealing with all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
he said the Spirit just told me to stay still.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Because sometimes we'll go home and say, man, why didn't I say this? Or why didn't I say that? Right? You've been there. Right? But Yahweh did not want you to say nothing at that
That's
time.
right.
That's all that means.
That's right.
Because you had the perfect answer after you left.
All kind of good answers.
Yeah, you could took her to school.
I told you to throw me out of there.
Oh yeah, they've been known to do that too.
I
You
know.
come in there telling that truth, they'll ask you
To leave.
You shouldn't do that no way.
What, do what?
It's funeral.
Oh, I'm talking about going to their regular service. I wasn't talking about a funeral.
Even at that, you shouldn't do it. That's their thing.
Yeah, that's their thing. Why would I wanna be at a funeral and they ain't close to me anyway?
Like I
I
said,
ain't trying to go.
Are there more questions? So let's go ahead and get started. Again, we are in Isaiah chapter 9, but before we go there, Brother Stephen, start us off in Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20, because chapter 9 and verse 1 is a continual thought, verse 22 in chapter 8. So start it off in chapter 8 and verse 20.
Isaiah 8, Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
So you look at these Christian preachers, and they do not mention the law at all, which means they have no light in them. So our people must love darkness instead of light. The light is too bright, so they'd rather continue on what they've been in all their life. They've been in darkness, don't want to see the light. Go ahead, brother. So read that verse again.
To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall pass through it, hardly bestead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward. And they shall look unto the earth and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea beyond Jordan in Galilee of the nations. The people that walk in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shined.
Mm-hmm.
Thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. But thou hast broken the yoke of his burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments roll in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Now, when you look at verse 2, it said, the people that walk in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the children of death, of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shine. So we look at that Mashiach fulfilling that when he showed up. Thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. The joy before thee according to the joy of in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoils. So they've been a hypocritical people during the time that they dwelt in the land. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So at this particular time, the Babylonians hadn't come in on them yet. But go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Shalom, my brother.
Shalom.
We're at Isaiah chapter 8,
Chapter 9.
verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty El, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. Yahweh sent a word into Jacob, and it had lighted upon Israel.
All right, Steve, I'm going to stop right there. In verse 7, it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon the kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. This is talking about the whole world. It's going to be ruled over by the son of David. And that means that this whole world is going to change, that people no longer worship other gods. They will no longer practice religion because of who's sitting on their throne. It says, for unto us a child is born. Who's us? Verse 8, the Adonai sent a word unto Jacob, and it had lighted upon Israel. So he's talking to us, it's Israel. And you look at our condition today, you can see that how can a king come out of us that's going to rule all nations? Because we're not a people ourselves. And that's what's going to be. I appreciate the tea, Brother Yeshua, and he won't look up.
Why he is lighting
Keep his head turned down. I just have to glance up.
I just seen he was thirsty, Shane.
Praise Yah.
Because it's warm. It's a little warm in here. That's all.
Praise Yah.
You're doing a lot of teaching. One of them to stay hydrated, brother. So,
He's being staying hydrated.
yeah, I wanted you to stay hydrated.
Yeah, you
And I
have to
saw
stay
it.
hydrated, man. This was 83 degrees out there, bro.
Yeah.
Feel good out there.
You're doing the right thing, man.
Yeah.
So again, now white people love this verse. They made a whole symphony out of it. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and his government shall be upon his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty, Elohim, and Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Now, they use the word God in that, but we know in Hebrew it would be Elohim. And mainly because it shows the plurality of Yahweh, right? So he will fit in the category of a God. Being the son of God, he's a God, right? So, but the Gentiles, the Christians, have taken that above the Father. I mentioned that yesterday and made that Trinity doctrine, right? But then, I mean, you look at, for instance, Job, chapter 1, the sons of God presenting themselves before Yahweh. Well, those are angels, right? So the Mashiach would be in that category of supernatural beings that he would be called God, or the Son of God, right? Remember in Psalm 45, it said, therefore God, your God, is giving you the oil of gladness above thy fellows. So God as a God. Now, we're not saying that this is the same God that created everything, but he is on an equal plane with Israel, I believe.
That's right.
Right? Israel is a God, the Mashiach is God. But the Father is over all. Right? So you can't replace him with a God. And that's what they've been trying to do. They don't know Yahweh, they don't understand him, but Yahweh's given us understanding, say he must be feared. Because life is precious to us. But the Mashiach, but Yahweh say our flesh is as grass. So we always asking mercy. Yahweh be merciful to us. We just flesh. And so he'll have mercy upon whom he will have mercy. But that shows you our weakness. We dare not be a proud people, knowing that we cannot control our lives. Yahweh controls our lives. He controls what we hear and what we say and what we do. So sometimes ain't nothing you can do about what Yahweh got, what path Yahweh got you on. What you're doing is you're like a passenger on a ride, wondering where you're going. So we're thankful for Yahweh allowing us to see, live long enough to see the path that we're on. Whereas the people that didn't never heard and died in them lives, they don't know nothing. They didn't learn nothing. Right? But let's continue, Brother Stephen. Let's go to chapter 10 in Isaiah and pick this up at verse 20 to verse 23.
Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty El. But though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. For the Adonai Elohim of hosts shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land.
Now, I found this is profound in verse 20. And it says, it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. So it's talking about a historical people that have always been smoked, have been beaten down. Mm-hmm. And we had no choice. We was in captivity, just like we were talking about earlier. Could our fathers keep the commandments while they was in captivity? Right? So no, because they were under that stress of being beaten down by the people that had them in captivity. And so Yahweh said, you're no longer going to stay upon those people that beat you down. Now he's looking at us, and he says, the Holy One, the remnant shall return. In verse 21, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty El. But though my people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. He said, even though Israel is as the sand of the sea, ain't gonna be but a remnant out of that that are gonna come back into the land.
That now too.
That's now.
Yeah.
It's particularly now, because the consumption decree hadn't happened yet. So we get that out of Ezekiel chapter 20. When he's gonna bring us back into the wilderness, he's gonna purge out the rebels and the transgressors. That's that consumption.
That's that 2/3.
2/3. Out of Zechariah 13.
Yeah.
That's that 2/3 gonna be, and that's a lot of folk. So, and it says in verse 23, for Yahweh, for the Adonai Elohim of hosts shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. So he's gonna kill us all off, kill off that 2/3. Yeah, that's a lot of folk. That's just here in America. They're not even talking about the people in Africa. But that's the house of Judah in Africa also. And let's pick this up. And keep in mind that the reason I'm skipping around some of this stuff is because I want to stick with the prophetic part of the prophets. And a lot of it is historical. It's already happened. But so we're going to stick with the parts of the prophets that hadn't come to pass yet. So let's pick this up in chapter 11, verse 1.
Elder, you said that was in Ezekiel what?
Ezekiel 20, verse 32 to verse 38.
Okay.
Let me make sure of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Ezekiel.
Yeah, verse 32 to verse 38, that's that consumption that we were reading about in Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
That Yahweh's going to purge out of them, purge out the rebels and the transgressors, so they will not enter into the land of Israel. And we can see why he got to do that, man. Look at black people today. Do you think they have any self-control?
No.
Well, if they didn't have self-control back in them days, they ain't got it today. So we don't know why we are the kind of people we are. Why it's so hard for us to be obedient. But that's his wife. And he's got to beat that disobedience out of his wife. So it took him since the Babylonian Empire to now. We're looking at nearly 2,500 years to beat all that rebelliousness out of his wife. But Yahweh had to know what kind of people we were when he married us.
Mm-hmm.
He had to know.
Yeah.
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 I married a wild woman. But I guess that made life a little bit more interesting. Yeah.
So basically, our captivity had been put under the Gentiles, because if we were put under any other nation, we might have just destroyed them somewhat.
We might have been destroyed, or we would destroy them.
Destroyed them some kind of way.
Well, we were under the captivity of a bunch of nations before we had our first king, and they weren't Gentiles,
Okay.
right? We had, who was that? When we first came out of Egypt, and the Amalekites came out and tried to destroy us. And when we came into the land, we got, they started worshiping Baal, and went into captivity to the people that worship Baal. Now, white folk didn't worship Baal at that time. White folk wasn't even on the scene. But these are other nations that had us in captivity. Okay? Brother Stephen, let's go to chapter 11 and verse 1.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Now, who is this talking about here? It says, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse. Now, name the particular name. And a branch shall grow out of his roots. Now, that's gotta remember now, Isaiah is singing this, so it's symbolic and metaphorical, so that it would sound like he's talking about something entirely out of our imagination, but he's actually talking about the Mashiach.
Oh, yeah, well,
Right, because it said Jesse. We recognize who Jesse is.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? That's David daddy.
That's right.
Right? And it says, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Now we're looking at someone other than David. Another branch of David gonna come out of his roots. Okay? Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1 again. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh.
These are 7 spirits. Count them. It says, and the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom, 1, and the Spirit of understanding, 2, the Spirit of counsel, 3, the Spirit of might, 4, the Spirit of knowledge, 5, and the Spirit of fear of Yahweh, 6, and the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him. So that's 7.
Okay.
I didn't count the first part. So this man's a complete package. When you look at his life after he received that baptism, he fit all of this. So much so that his own disciples didn't even know what he was talking about. But like he said to Nicodemus, if I can speak to you heavenly things you don't understand, if I speak of the earthly things you don't understand, then how can you understand if I speak of you heavenly things? So this is this is the reason he's speaking of those things that they didn't understand. So that must have been a powerful spirit that rested upon him at his baptism. Go ahead, Brother Stephen. Read verse 2 again.
And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
This is already written down in the book of Revelation. When he talks about the return of the Mashiach, it's going to be a two-edged sword come out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. He's come to judge and to make war. So that two-edged sword is what? The word of Yahweh. Right? So with that word, he doesn't even have a sword in his hand. It's just going to kill you just by speaking. Mm-hmm. That's very powerful. Yeah. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
Mm-hmm.
And the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand upon the cockatrice den.
What does that sound like? What kind of environment is that? Well, the lions are no longer carnivores. The wolves are no longer carnivores. They're no longer meat eaters. Now, when did that first come about? In the Garden of Eden, right? When Yahweh created all the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air, they ate the grass, which means that when the Mashiach sets up his kingdom, it's going to be like the Garden of Eden. We won't have to fear these lions, these 600-pound lions. They might even be a pet to you. I bring my lion over to Zach's house. His lion play with my lion. But that's the future. It's something people never even considered, that it's going to be so peaceful. It's going to be like the Garden of Eden. The animals going to lose their characteristics of being aggressive, to the point where a baby can play on a snake pit and won't be bothered.
Poisonous.
Scorpion won't be any portion of snakes.
That's right.
So, in essence, we're talking about the Garden of Eden. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be like that all over the world, but we know it's going to be like that in the land of Israel. But with the Mashiach sitting on the throne, yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah, it's going to be like that all over the world. Plus, you're going to have all those healing waters coming out of that temple. You heal all the rivers and seas all over the world. So, yeah, you're still going to be meat eaters, because you're going to be fishing, bringing them nets of fish out of the sea, and so you're still going to be eating meat. And that'll be doing that 1,000 years, right? But after the 1,000 years, you won't be eating meat no more, right? You'll be totally vegetarian like Adam and Eve were. They didn't eat meat. Cain and Abel didn't eat meat, even though Abel offered up a meat sacrifice. He didn't eat it. He just offered up to Yahweh. So it stayed that way until after the flood. Right? That's when Yahweh said that the animals are going to be afraid of you from now on. You can eat meat, but they're going to be scared of you. Yes, sir.
What's the correlation in the manna that was given to the children in the wilderness? They eat food of angel, the food that they ate.
The angels?
No, when they're in the wilderness.
In the wilderness?
And they ate the food, the manna that was sent down to them.
The manna?
Yeah.
What about it?
Is that like vegetables and stuff like that?
That's like what?
Is that like vegetable?
Says manna like vegetables. Manna.
Vegetable?
Yeah, because it's like angel food, they say. Something like angel food.
Yeah, well, it came from heaven, so I
Yeah.
don't think they got vegetables up in heaven.
So that's, what kind of...
What kind of substance was it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't know.
Oh, okay.
They saw this round coriander seed on the ground after the dew left.
Yes.
They saw these little bees on the ground, and they gathered them up, beat them down into bread, into flour.
Gotcha.
Right. And until they got sick of it. They said, we want some meat.
That's when that meat came in there. Okay.
Yeah, well, that was their experience in the wilderness. All they did was murmur because they had gotten so comfortable in Egypt, being slaves.
Right.
Now they're living on their own without Egypt, like here in America. We have grown comfortable being here in America. And we're used to the conveniences and the instant gratification that you have in America, so that we take these things for granted. But when you leave here, you can say this is a different world. Everything is not going to be at your fingertips like you got now. Look at the fact that, I'm pretty sure that the people on the ship would tell black people, get rid of your cell phones because we don't want to be found. Jake ain't going to listen to that. He can bring the cell phone with him, but nevertheless, they're going to lose power because they ain't no way to charge them in Africa. So they'll find a bunch of cell phone all over the road, but we'll be long gone by then. And because they ain't got nowhere to charge them. So all this convenience, again, we itching to get up out of here, but all our medicines are here, our jobs are here, the grocery stores are here. We can go straight to the grocery store, get what we want, come back home. We ain't got to grow nothing. We ain't got to kill nothing. Just got a headache, go get some BC powder. You ain't gonna find that in Africa. So that's why you should be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Because we know the destiny is going to be positive for us, but look what you got to go through to get there.
You got to rely on faith now.
Yeah.
Nothing but faith. I mean, it's conveniences. Like I said, be careful what you wish for,
Yeah.
because the thing of it is now, Yahweh gonna have to destroy America, because when we leave out here and that track is real tedious, we're gonna look back and say, man, we need to go back to America.
Right.
He
Just
gonna
like
have-
our father did.
Yeah, he's gonna have to take this bad boy down.
Right. So it's going to be got to have a smoke coming out this bad boy as we on them boats. You see them smoke coming out here and say, yeah, we can't go back there. It's
But
totally destroyed.
I got something else there now. You got Israelites don't eat meat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we ate meat down in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh didn't say nothing about it. We had to kill an animal and take that blood and put it on our lintel, right?
Right.
Right? And he told us the ordinance for the Passover.
Right.
Then he told Noah, these are the beasts that you can eat, right? But don't eat them with the blood. How they getting around all that?
I don't know. I asked them. And they can't give me a straight answer.
Then we got Isaiah, he's talking about the feasts that we have. Then in Ezekiel, it's talking about the animal sacrifices being restored. Then Paul saying, one that he eat vegetables, the other one don't eat meat because he's weak. How are they getting around all that?
I imagine it's just a religion they're practicing.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Because their religion can't hold Yahweh's law. So they're justified in not eating meat, even though dietary law is right there. And the Mashiach ate meat. After the resurrection, he gave him something to eat.
Right, he was hungry.
Yeah. So if eating meat is all right with the Mashiach, how come it can't be all right with us?
And David gave the people, he gave them a flagon of wine and good piece of meat, right?
Right.
So
They don't pay that no attention.
kind of what, but you know what? You find out that most Israelites, they do things by word of mouth.
Yeah.
Or they read side books.
Yeah.
They won't read the Bible.
Right.
They read them little side books.
So, what made them any different than Christians?
Then they'll come up with, like you said, a religion called Judaism.
Yeah. Yes, that's permitted. So that if you don't eat meat, then you can disregard dietary law.
Yeah. Well, if you don't eat meat, you're in violation of the holy days, right?
Yeah, what do they do on the Passover?
Right.
Eat tofu? So let's continue, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Patroth and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
That's us. Now, we're no longer in those lands, but we are in the islands of the sea. Mm-hmm. Right? So America hadn't been discovered at that time, so they fit in the category of the coast of the sea, the islands of the sea. It says in verse 11, it shall come to pass in that day that the Adonai shall set his hand again the second time. When was the first time? When they came out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time.
That's right.
So we're talking about a second Exodus.
Right.
It's in the book. But who reads that? That's the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, that's what we call Iraq today, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush or Ethiopia, or from Elam, and from Elam, that's in the Babylonian area, and from Shinar, that's in the Babylonian area, and from Hamath, that's around Syria, and from the islands of the sea, that would be us. Right, way as far away from our land as you can get. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth.
Now that says a lot, because it's saying Judah is in the four corners of the earth also, along with the rest of the tribe. Now, do they know that they're Judah, and do the tribe know what tribe they are? That's the question. Because they've been gone a very, very long time. But the northern tribes were kicked out of land before we got kicked out of land. But Yahweh brought us back into the land. He didn't bring the northern tribe back into the land. So they've been scattered ever since then. And so they got to come back, but they got to know that who they are. And by now, we're pretty sure, well, like I said before, I have done a little research and saw that there were Chinese that were keeping the holy days and the animal sacrifices. But they look Chinese. So no doubt they kept the traditions of our fathers, but they had intermingled their seed with the people of the land. So they looked Chinese, but they kept Yahweh's law. Now, it didn't say that whether they believe in Mashiach, sure, even if they heard of him. Because remember, they're part of the northern tribe. They probably never even heard of the Mashiach. Only the southern tribe heard about it. Right? So they kept on the traditions of the Torah and keeping the animal sacrifices and keeping the Sabbath day. Yes, sir.
Elder Priest, I made mention sometime because in Vietnam, the people looking just like you and I.
Say what now?
In Vietnam, the people that looking just like us. The brothers was amazed when they saw them. They were like, "Man, you look like a part of mine from such and such." But I'm just saying. You know.
How long had they been there? So they were there when you got there?
Well, they were there in Vietnam before America got there.
Yeah.
So what you were saying just now,
Right.
our people were scattered around all over.
Right.
So yeah, you got people looking just like us.
Yeah, that they may be us.
Yeah, I'm on
I mean, that's part of the scattering,
Yeah, scattering.
that we are in other people's land. We've seen old photographs of Chinese with afros,
Yes, exactly.
right? And then you got, you ain't gonna get us all at the same time. Y'all was just showing us a little bit here and a little bit there. Let us know that, yeah, we are scattered all over the world. And no one's telling us this. Yahweh had to show this to us himself. That, yeah, I still know who you are, and I know where you are. Because you got people saying, nobody knows what the 10 lost tribes of the children of Israel are. They're not lost. You just can't find them. Yahweh knows exactly where these people are. And he's going to bring them all back home. They may not know who they are until the government that they're under would take them and say, yeah, you don't belong here. You got your own land, get up out of here. And they're going to bring you out to get these people out the land because they don't belong here. I'm pretty sure they were ostracized when they were there. They say, y'all don't act like real Chinese. So they were separated from everybody else, right? And let them go on with the, I mean, we got folk in Iran,
Exactly.
Iraq, we got people all over the Middle East that know who they are, and the people, the Muslims know who they are too. And so I imagine everybody around there wondering how long was it going to take for us to know who we are. So now we know.
Yeah, Elder, keep in mind too, a lot of them brothers that was in World War I, they didn't see action, but they might have been working as servants. And a lot of them in that Korean War, they didn't come back here.
Right.
They stayed over there in them areas.
Yeah.
So you got that too.
Yeah, indeed, blame them. So they come back here, they catch hell. At least where they are, they can have a little respect.
Yeah.
Right. So you look at what was his name? The Olympic runner.
Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens. Everybody on earth honored this man except America.
Yeah, Roosevelt didn't even talk to him when he beat them Germans.
So that's what that make us?
Right.
That the president won't. This is an Olympic gold medalist, and the president won't even accept it.
It goes to say when says a lot about Germany and Hitler when they had him at the time. He wanted to stay over there because they revived the man.
Right.
So you have to rewrite history about this man Hitler,
Right.
because he was known to be this, but evidently he did that.
Yeah.
And then, because when he came back over here, Jesse Owens, he was at Ohio State University. He went back and they told he got a job as a janitor.
Yeah.
Wow.
A gold medalist, a janitor. That's a slap in the face, bro.
They've been lying on Hitler, ain't they?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff about Hitler ain't necessarily true.
No, he had black people in the military, man.
They showed Jesse Owens when he won that Olympics. Him and Hitler, he was standing there with Hitler. He was shaking his hand. I saw this, I Googled it, and Hitler congratulated that man.
Yeah, but Roosevelt couldn't.
Roosevelt, when he came back to
Who's
the
worse, Hitler or Roosevelt?
Okay.
See,
Make you wonder.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's finish this up, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Yehudah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Yehudah, and Yehudah shall not vex Ephraim.
Now, you remember that in the historical parts of the Bible, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, when they split up, they were at war with each other sometimes. The northern kingdom would ally themselves with the allies, make them allies of the people around them to fight against Judah. That's why it says here, it says in verse 13, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Because Yahweh was breaking down his house. After Shlomo, he brought all them gods and them strange women into the land. Yahweh began tearing down his house. So under Jeroboam, you had 10 tribes that went with him, right? But one of those tribes came back to Judah, and that was Levite. Right, so that's why you come up with what they call the house of Judah. The house of Judah contained 3 tribes: Levi, Benjamin, and Judah. And a lot of people did not know that was a house of Judah and a house of Israel. But when we read the New Covenant, it mentions that explicitly. See, behold, I make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Nobody even questioned that, but that's in plain sight. That was houses, Judah. But the whole nation was destroyed as a whole when the Romans destroyed Jerusalem. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 14. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spar them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it into 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
So that second Exodus is guaranteed. He's going to gather all his people from everywhere he scattered them. And like I said, they don't know where they are, but Yahweh does, because he put them in the places that he scattered them to. And he gave them what they needed to survive. So all 12 tribes are still here. Not one tribe is gone. Even though they mingle themselves among other people, they are still here. Now when they get back into the land, you're going to see that, yeah, we got different looking people up in here. Issachar don't look like Zebulun. Yeah, but they still, it's called Zebulun. So it's going to take some generations to reach the original physical appearance of the children of Israel. So, my question is this: how did Judah distinguish him, know the difference between them and Issachar? They come from the same man. They're all brothers. But how do you know which one is which? How do you know which one is Judah, which one is Issachar? Because they look alike. Now, no doubt, when they first came into the land, they joined amongst each other. But if you saw them coming down the road, how would you know who that was? Is it what's it, Asher? Was it Benjamin? Walking down, you can't tell, but physically, I'm talking about back in the days of the judges.
Right.
You cannot tell physically who tribe you belong to. So there must have been some type of characteristic of each tribe to show the difference. Maybe there's certain words you can pronounce, like you got up in Judges.
Yeah, Benjamin, now, his dialect kind of put him out front.
Right, it might be the dialect.
Yeah,
But still kind of wonder, how did they know
yeah.
which tribe someone belonged to? Because they all come from the loins of one man.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have to go live long enough to see. Because you're going to still have that same situation. Not only in the wilderness, but also in the land itself. In the wilderness, we don't know who's Judah, who's Benjamin, and who's Levi.
Mm-mm.
So that would have to be determined, I imagine, by the angels, because we don't know ourselves. So the angels got to reveal to us who we are. Right? You may say Stephen, you're a Levite. Yahshua, you're a Judah. Zach, you're a Benjamite.
I don't know about that.
Zach
ain't no big. I know it ain't not Zach. He ain't
You
no
take it too
Benjamin.
serious, man.
No, I'm just
And I ain't
saying.
ready to fight.
No, I'm saying you put the wrong label on him. Now the rest of us,
Put on their picture, man.
yeah, Zach even saying they ain't no
See,
Benjamin.
yeah. Now y'all ready to fight. So,
The dark skin left hand, that don't describe Zach.
now, what you gonna do in the wilderness when the angel tell you that's who you are? You gonna get mad at the angel?
Okay.
All right.
That beat on the serious side, now I did know they call them geeches, right?
Go in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's allegedly that's Benjamin, right? Was a brother his complexion, and he had that same dialect. My uncle, he was my dad, his brother-in-law was one of them people. Well, he was about his complexion, and he had that same dialect. We used to call him Red, and he had that little geechee accent,
Right.
and he was a tall fellow.
Right.
So, like I say, you don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
We don't know. We all been away from our tribe so long, we don't know what tribe we belong to. And then you got the fact that when we sold off in the slave auction, that further muddled the water as to who we were. We probably had that knowledge when we got here. But when they broke up the families, we lost track of everything, so we couldn't pass down that knowledge of who we were to these people. But you got people today say, I'm from the tribe of Dan. How the hell you know?
You don't know that.
Yeah.
Did your slave forefathers keep a diary while they was on the slave ship? They wrote down, we are Benjamin, we are Dan. We're going to pass this knowledge down to you, my children. You will always be Dan. So now you got today's people saying, we Dan. How you know?
Yeah. I ran into a brother a few days ago. He see my head covering, so he said, Asamakaleka. I said, nah. I said, Shalom. I said, we Israelites. Then he turned around and said, yeah, I know the Israelites. He said, my family's from Haiti. I'm from the tribe of Levi. I said, I said, that could be plausible. I said, but to be honest with you, we really don't know what tribe we're from.
You got a number of Jamaicans that believe they are from Levi, and some of them believe in Haiti that they are
Yeah.
Levi. You got my brother down there in Miami swears that he is a Levite.
And he wasn't the first person to tell me that. I met a few of them.
Right, so they know. How they know, I don't know.
And that's why I said I didn't dismiss them. I just said that could be plausible.
Yeah,
But
it could be, but what's the proof?
I said we really don't know what tribe
I saw a video this morning that blew me away. It was about Benjamin Franklin. And he said that we should not allow the Moors in America. And that the king of Great Britain was a black man. And all the Scots and the Irish and all those people in Europe, they were black people. And Benjamin Franklin did not want them in America. Now I saw it, and it's on the internet, it might be AI. You know, but I found that very interesting that someone would put that out there. And for what purpose, I don't know. But it give you pause to think, because we don't have any record other than the recent paintings of these people that what they actually look like.
Well, you said about 3 years ago, I think you mentioned, you pulled some up, we had royalty over there in Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 The Kings of England.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I heard that before too, Elder.
Yeah.
That the royals is not really the royals. It was our
Yeah.
people that was royals.
Right. Right.
So
They erased us out of
that's
history.
what I'm saying, Elder. This history thing, and now more and more advanced knowledge is coming upon that Yahweh is showing us. That goes back to we were talking about Hitler and people now with them Jews and people like, I don't know if he was wrong. There's something right about what he said about these people. It's like now people looking back at history and like, well, we all told a lie.
Yeah. It's all been a deception. But Yahweh allowed it. Yeah. And the most deceived people in the world are black people. Yeah. Yeah.
Mainly, I heard a lot about Scotland.
Uh-huh.
Our land was all up in Scotland.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What was that movie? It was
Braveheart.
King of Scotland. What's the name played that role?
Idi Amin.
Idi Amin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That told a lot too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, the truth is gonna come out.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll see that we've been deceived all our lives by the people that Yahweh gave the world into the hands of. And that's how they maintain their superiority by making history white.
Just like in Russia. They showed all the colors of those people.
Check it out, bro.
Were all black people.
Russia had all those pictures of the children of Israel, of the Jews, and 12 disciples, and the Mashiach,
All
all over black.
Mary, Joseph.
That ain't what we were shown here in America.
And they got that in Russia.
But in Russia, they got an entirely different story that they've always known. Don't you remember a few years back they had this song that the Russian choir was singing about black people here in America?
Yeah, I can't.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they were talking about black people, they're singing about
Yeah,
black people here in
you're
America. Yeah,
Remember it?
yeah.
So what about Khrushchev?
Khrushchev didn't have much to do with us.
Yeah, well, he made mention about us in the book. When they cut it out, I texted that day, and the next day they took it out. He said, remember he had he went to the meeting when all the white folk come. I forgot what it was, but he be on the podium.
Oh, that was at the UN.
Yeah, he said it's written in the book that
We will bury you.
We will bury you.
Yeah.
He was talking about us too,
Yeah.
in the book.
Well, we're getting ready to read about that now.
Okay. I'm sorry to jump in.
That's all right. Let's go ahead and finish that up, Brother Stephanie.
So it's Isaiah chapter, wait a minute, 12 now?
No, I think you went past 12.
No,
Verse 15.
no, I'm in 12, I didn't read the whole 12.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we had 12 verse 1, yeah.
Yeah, because I went over, and
Yeah.
Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So you read that.
Yeah,
I think you read 14 too.
yeah. I read the whole,
You read it?
You read the whole chapter?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead then.
Isaiah chapter 12, verse 1. And in that day thou shalt say, O Yahweh, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, Elohim is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For Yahweh is my strength and my song. He also has become my salvation. Therefore, with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. And in that day shall you say, Praise Yahweh, call upon his name. declare his doings among the people, make mention that his name is exalted.
Mm-hmm.
Sing unto Yahweh, for he have done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee.
You know who's going to be the most surprised of who we are? Black people. We're going to surprise the rest of the nation, no doubt. But black people are going to be the ones that are going to be the most surprised. And that's where you come in. You had to plant that seed, even though they rejected it. It was the wilderness you putting that seed in. So, well, there was no water, no growth until they come out and realize that the people in Africa recognized them. So wait a minute, I remember hearing this in America. Maybe they were telling me the truth. And then when they get into the wilderness and they come out that wilderness, they'll know then who they are. But right now, they reject it. Black people reject being the chosen people, God's favorite people, and they reject it. How you reject being God's favorite people, man? But that's what we have. You can go to any black Christian church, and they will reject you. Because you're not a Christian.
Jesus loved everybody.
I'm about to say
There's no chosen people.
Right.
He loves everybody.
Right.
You're being a racist.
Yep.
The Jew, but
I'm
what
being
about
a racist.
Yeah, what about the Jews? He cast them away. There are no chosen people.
Just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean they've been cast away. That's all that means. Yeah, the preachers don't talk about it. They don't talk about Israel. They don't talk about the Jews.
Nope.
So in that mind, they put two and two together. So he must have got rid of them because my preacher ain't talking about it.
Well, that's what they say. They say, you ask them about the Jews, everybody, what it is, everybody acknowledge the Jews are his chosen people. So they over there in the land. But the children of Israel, that's the problem. When you start talking about them, they'll say, well, those people have been absorbed into another people. They don't exist anymore. Say, don't you know about the lost tribe of Israel? They're out. They're out the picture.
I know, man. That's the excuse they give. Not understanding Yahweh, underestimating his power. That what he says is going to come to pass. Just like we read, he's going to bring them all back home. No matter what they look like, who they married, they still going to come back home. Right. Go ahead, Brother Steph.
Praise y'all for his covenant.
Huh?
Praise y'all for his covenant.
Yeah, right. He got to keep his word. We are his people forever. Brother Osai, did you have something, man?
Yeah, in verse 3, is that what he was talking about in John 4 with the Samaritan woman?
Therefore, with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. And your question about that is what?
Is that what he was referring to when he spoke to the Samaritan woman? And she asked him, what do you have? You don't have anything to draw out of this well. He asked her for the water.
Oh, when in John chapter 4, when we talked to the Samaritan woman,
Right.
he told her that he had waters of life. I'm paraphrasing,
Right.
that you need not thirst again.
Right.
Well, he said the same. It was already said in Jeremiah chapter 2.
Okay.
Because they abandoned the word, the cistern, the broken cistern, and abandoned the waters of life from Yahweh. So he's actually quoting scripture when he mentioned that. But then you look at the new heaven and the earth, where you got the waters of life. It's going to be present there, and the tree of tree of life. So living waters and the tree of life. So that is a far off reference to the living waters.
Right.
So therefore with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. And on that new earth, you still got to eat, and you still got to drink. And in fact, at the end of that chapter, you are being invited to drink of living waters. And it says, blessed is he to keep the commandments of Yahweh, that they may have access to living waters. Right, so that's again a far off reference to that particular time. The wells of salvation. It's talking about that. Go ahead, Brother Stephen. Now, you finish verse 12, chapter 12, verse Stephen.
That's right.
So now we're about to read about the destruction of America. All right, now we've read the first mention of America we find in Genesis chapter 15. Now in chapter 13, we're going to read about the destruction of America again. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
The burden of America, which he says the son of Amos, did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
It says in verse 1, the burden of America. And how do we know that this is America? Because what does Babylon mean? Confusion. And so what you have here in America is confusion.
You got that right.
You can worship any God you want. You can speak any language you want. You don't have to learn the language of the land, especially these days. So they fit America more than anyone else.
You can call yourself a woman and you a man.
Yes. You can go into the women's restroom.
And you have rights.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
That's
the
confusing.
woman can act like a man, dress up like a man can dress up like a woman.
You remember?
And we're supposed to accept it.
Under the Biden administration, they put tampons in the boys in the men's restroom. Remember?
Yeah, I guess they figured one day men would get their period. So they have to have something to catch it.
You can play girls basketball, and you think you're playing against females, and then this big guy come out on the court. Well, praise y'all for Donald Trump. Donald Trump stopped all that.
Yeah.
Don't nobody give him credit for that.
I know, because he don't control the media. And the media being controlled, and they say every negative thing you can think of, make a fool out of it. Look at what, Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
That's all. That's his main stick, is to mess with the president of America. That's never been done before. Now you got a group of people that think it's all right to ridicule the president of America, the most powerful president ever, and you ridicule him. So whatever happens to him, he's gonna well deserve it. But he's representing a group of people that actually hates the president and even hates America.
Mm-hmm.
They put that on television. That's never. You old enough to know. We're old enough to know that's never happened before. So there's something else going on here. But again, it's obvious to us that someone wants to destroy America. And so they're destroying America from the inside out, turning white people against white people. And black people don't know who to turn to. So all they know is somebody got to pay them.
You're right.
So again, America fits this description of Babylon more than any other country on the earth because of the way she is, that you can worship any god you want. Mm-hmm. It's not a government religion, it's your religion of your choice. So again, you got thousands of denominations of Christianity. And that's not even counting Islam, that's not even counting Judaism. All of them got their different beliefs. So America will fit that confusion definition of Babylon. Right. So that's why we recognize America here, right? And the burden of America, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Go ahead, verse 7.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Mm-hmm.
Howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
So what we have here is not only the destruction of America, but the rest of the world also. Yahweh's angry with America, and white people don't know why. They don't even know Yahweh's angry with them. But he is really, really angry with America. Why? Because of the way they treated us. Not about the immorality of America, but how they put their hands on Yahweh's people. They weren't afraid. And to this day, they have no remorse for what they've done and what they're still doing to Yahweh's people. But go ahead, Brother Shea.
And you know what, Elder, that's kind of sad, even though I'm not siding these young white people. They don't even know what happened. A lot of them kids don't actually know what they did to us. Their parents used to tell them, but some kind of way it came a break in the generational thing. You ask these young white kids, I watch they take a survey on them, they ask them certain things about America. These are kids who went to Ivy League schools, don't know nothing.
I know. They don't want to talk about it. It was just like our folks. Our folks went through that, but they don't want to talk about it because it's so terrible. We did not see what they saw. They saw men hanging from trees, man. Bodies out there in the woods. Don't even know who it was. Been out there for years. They find them out there like that. And so that had to do something, that had to be traumatic for them to see things like that. And see that who would do something to another people like that? So they didn't tell us anything about what they saw. They don't want us to know what they saw. And so we grew up ignorant as to how vicious these people are. And we thought that we could make peace with these people. Martin Luther King thought we could make peace with them. No, they don't want to make peace with you. Got to remember, you are hated. And that's something we now have to accept. No matter what these white folks do to us now, we understand why. Because Yahweh put it in their heart to hate us. But he warned our father, we got the record here, he warned our father that you will be ruled over people that hate, by the people that hate you. Here we are. Yes, sir.
As a priest, we read in the book too that it says that they say, well, look, we may be doing what we're doing today, but it ain't us. We didn't hate their God. They hate their God. They didn't trust their God. So guess what?
We love their God more than they do.
We're gonna do them like how we do.
Yeah, we have to teach them how to get the Holy Ghost.
There you go.
Ain't nothing like. I mean, we'll take what you got and mess that thing up, niggerize it.
Niggerize.
We'll joke.
But Elder, to Elder's statement, that helps to understand Jeremiah 16 and 19. When,
16 and 19.
Yeah.
Well, fathers inherit lies and vanity of things, well, there's no problem.
Some Gentiles, they, like I said, they
Yeah.
didn't know who we were.
Right, right. All they see is the present day black people. They act like they ain't got no damn sense at all.
Right.
So it's automatic hate right there. Because you act like you ain't never had nothing. Right? Well, we used to, but we gave it away.
We did.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
What kind of man is this? He says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Now, what kind of man is this that you won't be able to find?
Righteous man.
Huh?
Righteous man.
A righteous man. That's where you come in.
Praise God.
Right? So, them 7 women gonna come to your door, knocking on your door. Know that you're gonna be a righteous man.
Well,
They come straight to your house. Yes, of course, you're gonna send them down to Steve.
You know, my elders below me. Then I'm gonna see water dripping.
But you know what? It's be kind of shocking thing though. Like Gentiles will be shocked because they want to be around us. But then a sister come to you and want to submit herself, you'd be kind of suspicious of that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've been through that. We've been deceived. We don't want to be deceived no more. Nah, I'm a veteran. So I done had my heart ripped out my chest. I ain't got nothing for you, baby.
Would it just be our women or other nations of women too?
There's gonna be other nations of women, but they're gonna be forbidden to mingle with them.
Okay. All right.
All right, we got to maintain our tribes.
So these 7 women would just be.
Yeah, they're gonna be beautiful women now.
Okay.
They're not gonna be.
See, that's what I'm talking
They're
about.
not gonna be land whales. Now I find that interesting because our standards of beauty were formed here by white people. What were the standards of beauty in our father's days? You don't know?
Well,
I mean, you say they're pleasant to look at, right?
I'm
They're
thinking-
comely,
Yeah, I was thinking
right?
about like.
But it
Rachel,
didn't
yeah.
give a physical description of these women. Now, the reason I say that is because back in the Middle Ages, fat women were the most beautiful women in Europe.
That's right. You're right.
Fat women.
Mhm.
So that view of beauty of women has changed. I mean, you look at, for instance, the statues during the Roman Empire. All the women were fine. Statues of the women. And that was the standards of beauty to the Romans.
Egyptian.
But what were our standards of beauty? We don't know. Because Yahweh doesn't describe what the women looked like physically. He said they were the virgins or they were comely. Like, for instance, the Shunammite woman in the Song of Shlomo. I'm black, but I'm comely. Yeah.
But he saw that naked woman up on top of that roof.
We don't know what that looked like, Steve.
Yeah, but nevertheless, he saw that figure.
She was butt naked, that's all he saw.
Yes, he is. So he's just naked.
Well, that's
It
enough
just
to
say
ri-
if she had them hips and nothing, man.
That's enough to rouse a man. I agree with you. Being naked, but he nonetheless he saw a figure up there on that roof.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
What gets all
that's
right?
just that's the direction of an average man.
But go back, like I said, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
So we don't know
Rachel.
what them women. I agree with you. We don't know what them women look like.
No.
From the neck on down, we don't know. We don't know.
Like you got Leah, Rachel,
Well,
Sarah.
I mean, yeah, but Rachel was beautiful to look upon, but what did she look like?
From the neck down, right?
Yeah. From the neck down, what she look like? Was she tall? Was she short? Was she big breasted? A big butt?
I'm just thinking of it like
I'm
men.
glad ain't no women in here, bro.
Oh no, okay.
I feel a lot of trouble.
I'm just thinking like, as men, we visual. So you know, we look at something fine, and that's the first thing we kind of look at. Oh, she fine.
Yeah, but where we get
But-
that standard from?
Gentile.
White folks.
Yeah, that's true.
White folks set the standards of beautiful women.
Yeah, white women. They black women role model. You're right.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna say, Elder?
So Elder, now I kind of pictured this a little bit when David was looking at the guy that was the wife of the woman he looked at on top of the roof,
Bathsheba.
and he more or less kind of wanted him to go to a wall and put him in the front barrel because maybe I'm looking at it like he was looking at her like, hey man, this look good, man, and saying he don't want to deal with her, I'm gonna deal with her. Let him get killed, and that way, all that. I'm just saying, basically, when he was looking at her and he was trying to get him to come home and all like that to see his wife, but he wasn't trying to deal with that. So I'm figuring she was a good-looking woman in the sense that it appealed to his eyes.
Yeah, but what did that look like?
Good-looking.
I mean, was it according to the Gentile standard of beauty?
To ours, I would
Our
say
standard of beauty, but what did that look like?
good-looking.
Good looking.
Good-looking. Look good.
I ain't describing nothing.
Yeah, that's good.
A fat woman can be good looking. Some folks, bro.
Your
won't let
eyes,
us
that
cover
was
it.
so-
He won't
your
let
eyes- If that was so, but you're right.
It's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I
There
know.
you go.
I was just
I
gonna
know.
say that's a fine way to say right there.
Yeah, whatever looks good to that particular person.
That's right.
And that's the most beautiful woman in the world.
In the world.
And they drunk a lot of
Yeah.
wine. So.
Huh?
I said they drunk a lot of wine, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
probably didn't help either.
Yeah, they were some wine drinkers back in the day.
When we start drinking, they probably look better, don't they?
That's what I was
They don't start looking good when you drink.
Yeah,
If
so
they don't, you better leave.
they got married while they were drunk.
Yeah.
After about 10 years, they started drinking Remy Martin. Well, let's finish this up, brother.
Oh man.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
Everybody got to get up out of here.
They got to go.
Now, I'm looking at this process already being started by the Biden administration by inviting over 10 million people up in here, undocumented, illegal, and they can't get them out in time for the next election. So Trump, being smart, said, well, we're going to put a law in place called the SAVE Act. Well, you have to prove that you're a citizen of America. But that still doesn't count the rest of the people that don't vote anyway,
Yep.
right? So everybody got to get up out of here. Even the people that are here illegally, they got to get out of here too. Because of the threat that America's going to be under, because you've got to remember what Trump is doing, it's pissing everybody off. Because in their mind, they were coming up with this one world order, and Trump is messing up the game.
That's right.
So they got to do something about Trump. But Trump is that's what you call a true American. He's trying to save his country, especially from black people. That's why we got thousands of black people out of the government now. Well, you don't need them. If he can get rid of them thousands of black people out of the government, he didn't need them. And besides that, they didn't vote for him anyway. And they're mad at him because it cost them their job for not voting for him. He don't owe black people nothing. Nobody owe black people anything.
That's right.
Black people got this sense of entitlement that you owe me. They got that sense of entitlement saying that you can't make me get out of my car. I'm supposed to fight you. Even though I'm a woman, I'm supposed to fight you. So that's why they wear them cameras on their chest, the police, so they can show the world what they have to deal with these black women.
That's right.
Right? So it ain't nothing like the black women will tell a lie. So, well, he beat me up. No, we got you on camera, girl. You fighting the police. You refuse to obey his order. You don't see white women doing this. Well, you don't see a lot of them doing that. But the only ones that give police trouble are black women. Why? Because they got this sense of entitlement. How dare you stop me? I'm a black woman. Well, just because of that, I'm stopping you. Because I know you're doing something wrong. And that's not even talking about a car full of young black men in the car. That's easy money right there. Because you know one of them in that dirty. That's why you got sons, well, y'all got no sons, but you got sons, do not let them get in a car full of other black men.
That's right.
Because that draw the police right there. So we have to, yeah.
I had a younger cousin. He's probably about 28 now. He had to do 4 years. Went to a basketball game. Took that ride back home. That got pulled over. And the car was dirty. So
The guy, what now?
they were at a basketball court and he left to come home. And he got in the car with another player who was driving the car. But the car was full of drugs. So when they got stopped, he ended up getting 4 years.
For what?
Accessory.
Accessory.
He was in the car got pulled over, and he got arrested.
That law.
That's for us.
You
That's what
judge
they do
by
for
the
us.
company you keep. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I know that messed his life up, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
How long he get 4 or 40?
he got 4 years.
4 years.
He got
4 years.
4 years.
Well, he'd be a young man when he come out. It ain't good news,
Yeah.
but still.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, I
It'd
know.
be 52 when he come out.
Yeah, 'cause you stay there more than 5 years, yeah, you're gonna be messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They coming at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Them hardened criminals. Y'all know what I mean.
So what is he doing now, man?
I think he was trying to do AC and heating or something before. Was what he was.
He doing what?
AC and heating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So he doing all right then, huh?
yeah. Well, you know, all right, as good as can be. I said it that way.
Yeah, man. I hate that happen, man. But
Yeah.
y'all will, bro.
Yeah.
If not to teach him something. Do not get in a car with black men. Yeah. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed into pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Didn't they do that to us?
That's right.
Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Russians against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
So when Putin starts shooting that stuff over here, y'all will put it in his heart to do it. Don't think they ain't got no plan for America.
You got one.
We got Russia always been watching America, watching how they carry themselves, and so they prepared themselves for America. They ain't worried about China, Iran, and none of the rest of the nations around the world. It's America. The big dog. They got something for America. Now, of course, America got cutting edge technology, and they showing it off on Iran, and Russia is watching them. Now, they know what America got, and America know what Russia got. It's the deployment of those assets that they are concerned about. How they gonna drop the missiles on America? And they already got communities of Russians here in America already.
Sleepers.
Communities,
Sleepers.
sleepers, yeah. Well, that's how Iran got them up in here,
Yeah,
right? Moles, we got all kinds of folk up in here ready for the green light.
that's right.
They're gonna drop them bombs off. But 2 days later, they'll be out the country, and they ain't gonna know where them bombs came from. Yeah.
They never listened to the Indians. The Indians were always told, said, white men speak with walk down.
Yeah, well, everybody know that, but black people.
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
You can't, even if they make a deal to come and talk with you, whatever they're gonna tell you, don't trust them.
Well, black people don't know that white people are lying to them. Everybody else know they're lying. Like you said, red man say, white man speak with forked tongue,
That's right.
right? Well, they didn't tell black people that. Black people believe everything white people say.
That's right.
We must be a joke to white people because we believe everything.
Definitely.
What we're dealing with are people that don't think,
That's right.
and some of them afraid to think.
That's right.
Yeah. So go ahead. Let's finish this up, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 18. Their bows also shall dash, verse 19, I'm sorry. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 18, I'm sorry. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And America, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Aryans' excellency shall be as when Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
I'm gonna stop right here. And before we dismiss, does anyone have any questions?
Good class, bro.
Okay. I'm gonna check on the chat to see if there are any questions on chat. Where everybody?
I don't know.
Where is everybody, man?
They got a meeting.
Every time we come to the class, everybody disappears. Yeah. All right, they left me here just with us. So let's keep the ball rolling. All right, let's see here. All right. All right, I don't know, they ain't had to verify this, but I'm gonna go over what I got. I got Shalom, Shemayan Yasharada Elder on Facebook. Shalom, Deacon Hanat. Praise God. Shalom, Brother Eliyahu, Ben Israel. Shalom, Elder Tobiah, Ben Israel. Shalom, Shalom, Brother Mickey Anderson. Shalom, Elder Alahayim and Mother Malaka. Shalom, Sister Angeline Rowe. Shalom, Brother Yaakov Ben Israel. Shalom, Mother Ruth. Good to see you up and around, checking us out. Hope you're getting better. Shalom, Isha. Shalom, Lonely Red Wolf. Shalom, Repentant Judah. Shalom, Gregory Rucker. Shalom, Brother Adawan Ben Yasharala. Shalom, Susie Garman. Shalom, Neil the P. Shalom, Bun Gaden. Shalom, Elder Mick. Shalom, Elijah Nayaban. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Mother Ruth says, praise God, this is what I have been praying about. They don't understand because of lack of knowledge. I'm so thankful to the elder for the sermon. So many of y'all people are getting on board. Thanks for your teaching and prayers. Keep me in prayer, Elder. Praise y'all, Mother. We got you. Shalom, Brother Kevin Birch. Shalom, Sean Berry. Shalom, Julius Brown. Shalom, Mother. Ruth. Oh yes, the Spirit is in the earth because people are asking questions and listening and want to know about Yah. Of course, Mother Ruth. You came in the right time, Mother. Shalom, Brother Hodiah. Shalom, Brother Adrian Davis. Shalom, that Ilwin, I don't know how to pronounce that. Shalom, Brother Ezra. Shalom, Mother Kia and Elazar. Shalom, Sister Nariah. Shalom, one of the M's. Shelton. Shalom, Ezra Ben Israel. We talked about the difference between Elohim and the Father. Can you help me understand, was it the Father or was it Elohim Israel speaking to Job? The Father pronoun is not mentioned in Job, but it is Elohim that's mentioned. And you look at the Hebrew word Elohim, and the Hebrew word Elohim shows the plurality of Yahweh in that particular title, because Elohim is a title. It contains Yahweh, Israel, and the angels. Okay, and we know this because when we go up to Genesis chapter 1, it says that, and Elohim said, and God said, let us make man after our image and in our likeness. Well, that's a contradiction in terminology because God and us don't match up. So it's a translator's word. The correct word should have been Elohim. So now you can understand that is a conversation going on when that designation Elohim, this is the angels talking to Yahweh, saying, "Let us make man after our image and after our likeness." So he was dealing with Elohim, but contained in Elohim is also Yahweh. So it didn't make a difference between the angels and Elohim and Israel and Yahweh. So that it contains all three entities. So when you're talking about Elohim, you're talking about Yahweh. So you also talk about the angels, but you're not talking about Israel though. Israel is not mentioned in Yahweh Elohim, mainly because it's Yahweh that get the glory, right? The only time we know that Israel is in that particular description is when we look at Isaiah chapter 49, verse 1 to verse 7. Now that's Israel talking. When you get a chance, check it out, Brother Ezra, and I'm pretty sure you already have. Look at Isaiah 49, verse 1 to verse 7. You see that's Israel talking right there. But he's not mentioned in the glorification of Yahweh. Shalom, Brother Benaiah. Shalom, Don. Shalom, Brother Abraham. Shalom, Melinda Curry. Shalom, Humble Rollers, ATL. Shalom, Sister Reshab, Shabbat Israel. Mother Ruth, Elder, I have out some of my associates seeing a difference in my life. They are listening in on the Sabbath day sermon, and they are interested in learning about Yahweh. Praise Yah. Mother Ruth, I'm so grateful and healing each day. Thank you for all your prayers. That's a pick me up right there. Shalom, Chief Yah to Tushka. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Shalom, Brother Malachi. Shalom, Elder Hiram. Shalom, Brother Israel, Ben Israel. Elder, I once read in another book that the tribe of Naphtali were very fast runners. If that's true, could that be the mighty man that ran and got that water for King David? No, that was more, actually, that was more of Judah. Because remember, in the beginning, Judah anointed him king over Judah. And so, in his mighty men, he had, his mighty men were mainly composed of the men of Judah. In that particular case, they were in the land, they were fighting the Philistines. And David said, "Oh, that I wish I had water from Bethlehem." Was it Bethlehem?
I don't know exactly.
Well, I wish he had water. I think it was from Bethlehem. And three of his men heard it. Mm-hmm. And they just took off running. Then he stopped and asked, "Well, how much you want?" They took off running, ran through the Philistines, got the water, and ran back through the Philistines, then spilled one drop and brought it back to David. And David poured it out on the ground.
Water represent their blood. Then.
They represent that blood, brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, they loved David that much that they didn't care who they had to run through to get it. They ran through the Philistines. Again, they were at war with the Philistines. They ran right through them, got that water, and brought it right back. Did not spill one drop. That's loyalty right there. That's men that believed in David, that he was Yahweh's anointed. So yeah, they fed off of him. They could not imagine him being hurt or killed. So whatever he needed, they got it. So yeah, you're right about that, Brother Ezra. That was part of mighty men. He had a bunch of mighty men. That's when David went to war, he always won, and won a scratch on him. So yeah, Brother Ezra, you're right about that. Yeah, they were Jews. They mentioned the other tribe much during the time of King David. Because he mentioned Naphtali. Do you remember anything about Naphtali? During the time of King David? All you heard about was Benjamin, Judah, and Levi.
That's right.
All right, but the rest of the tribe, you don't hear too much about them. Shalom, Chief Yah to Tushka. Facts. White Europe overpowered the rulers of Europe, the Moors. That's when they decided to send millions of white Europeans to America to overthrow the kingdoms of the Moors here. Well, they sure did a good job because we don't see any record of them doing that.
Nah, I don't know about that. That's a stress.
Don, I heard that the Brits, Scots, in England were our people. Written in a book called Ships Came from Judah. The author has a series of books, part 1 through 10. I read these books now. Let's see. The author says he traveled to these places and has evidence and images in certain places all over Europe. Praise y'all, man. Won't you let us know? Well, he told us what books to have, but keep checking with us, man. Let us know more about what you saw. The author says he traveled to these places and has evidence and images of certain places all over Europe. No doubt. I like to see that myself. Ezra ben Israel, Elder, we talked about America being the land of confusion. Trump, via executive order, made English the official language of the United States after all of these years. Why didn't they do that in the first place?
Only fair. Coming in somebody's land and can't even speak English.
Right.
That's
Anybody's land.
That's unheard of.
You ain't gonna go to a Muslim country and not know how to speak the language. Chief Tutushka, where can I find these books? Okay, yeah, y'all keep that conversation to yourself. Shalom, Brother Yosef. Shalom, Brother Alahayan. Praise Yah. Shalom, Elameshul, Elamehul. Tell the whites to look at the Ethiopian Bible. What's the point in that? Because if they're saying that because of the images that are put in the images in the Ethiopian Bible, what make them different from the English Bible? Because they put images in them too. So that's telling white folks to do that ain't gonna do nothing. They still look at JC as white. Shalom Kim Outlaw. Shalom, is it true that the tribe of Benjamin had homosexuals? I never heard that before, man. So
They put that out
I can't answer that question. I don't know where you got that from, but I hadn't heard that at all. This is my first time hearing about it, so I have to take it with a grain of salt, brother.
Yeah, so
I
he
think they
ain't going
talk
there.
about.
Now, what's the point of that anyway?
Well, you made me think about the story when the Benjamites when the man. and
Oh,
his
when they
woman-
raped that one of the raped the Levite.
Right.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Thanks, my brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, but that doesn't make them all homosexuals. As a matter of fact, the men that wanted to do that more than likely got killed.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, man. They're not all homosexuals, though. Shalom, Brother Clarence Moss and Sister Yulita. Shalom, Amanda Brown. Shalom, Obi. I almost didn't pick that name up. Shalom, Brother Kim Yoel. Shalom, the Eli 07. Shalom, Ella May. We are Canadian Americans. All right, praise God. Well, welcome to our Bible study. I would like for you to continue on watching us. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, I got another one here. Chief Yato Tushka asking, where are you located? I'm in Covington, Georgia. Well, we're not that far. We're what, 30 minutes from Covington? Or 45?
Yeah, about 45,
About 45 minutes from Covington?
something like that.
We are at 3901A, Covington. You putting that in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, he's putting that in. 3901A, Covington Highway, Indicator, Georgia. Check us out on the map to where we're located, how long it would take to come from Covington to here. Shalom, Elder, if you may want to read the ships that came from Judah, Arthur Lee Cumming, I would like to hear your point of view. The book author is Lee Cumming, if wants to read these books. Well, I'll keep that in mind, my dear. I appreciate you checking it out. That'll be some interesting reading. That here's a guy that claims that everybody in Europe were not white. So our influence has been all over the world, and we did not even know it. So yeah, we're gonna check it out. Okay, you see that Chief Yuska? We got 3901A Covenant Highway. Okay, you got it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Excellent questions, excellent viewpoints. Be prepared. Let's see, we got our history class coming up this third day, which is Tuesday night. And we have the Sisters Only class, it's fifth day, which is Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. You can reach them on Zoom. And lastly, we have a Sabbath service this coming seventh day, but that night we'll be celebrating the Feast of Weeks. Right? And that's when all the men of Israel have to present themselves to Yahweh. And so it'll be an interesting, it should be an interesting night. Yahweh has been merciful to us and allowed us to keep these holy days in their seasons. And so I would like for you to check us out on the Feast of Weeks coming this 23rd of this month. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you, Facebook. Let me see here. There it is. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Again, join us history class on the third day, which is Tuesday night.